Hello, Facebook. Are
Hello,
we
everybody.
on the internet? I do this every week. I'm like, are we on Facebook Live?
We are live. We are live.
No, because sometimes it sends me notifications and sometimes it doesn't. All right. Hi, Facebook. If you are on there, you are on there, on the Book of Faces, as they call it on TikTok.
The Facebook.
Yeah, you can't. Apparently, you can't say Facebook and Instagram and all those other competitor
On
platforms.
TikTok.
Yeah, it
Hmm.
like bans you and takes you offline on live or whatever. So, um, hello Facebook. Hello.
Hey,
We
everybody.
are live. Where is everybody? So,
Oh,
Christoph, we usually give everybody about like 5 minutes to figure out that we're here.
That's
Need to
fine.
come join us.
So like a normal business meeting.
Yeah.
yeah, we just kind of give people some time to remember that we're here and that we're on and to join us. And I don't know, maybe they're at a is it a bingo night tonight? Is there that
It's
karaoke thing? What is it?
karaoke.
Is it
That's so
karaoke
fun.
bingo tonight? What's going on?
Karaoke. Sherry, and I think Bryce is at work. Melissa's on. Melissa's a
Melissa's
dedicated.
watching.
Yeah, she's dedicated on Facebook. She always joins us. Don't know where everybody else is, but that's okay.
I don't know. Maybe they'll trickle in. It's still only 9:02.
I should get like one of those bullhorns, like Sierra, where are you? Hey, Rod, Uncle Rod is not here.
I'm
That's so weird.
surprised. I hope he makes it. That'd be a first in a while.
That's true. Hello, everybody on Facebook. We are live and broadcasting, also recording, so you can watch it later on YouTube. My name is Ani Sumargan. I am the founder of AMCSI, and I am joined by my friends Ted
Hello.
and Chris and Christof today. I'm so excited because I love when we have special guests, so we're not just talking your ear off about stuff that AMCSI is doing. And I just got word that Chris was going to join us for a special Zoom call um, the last week of April, since we have an
Nice.
opening. So we're going to try to figure out how we can get Chris's Lego video up,
Nice.
share with us. And then Chris is going to share a little bit about his own personal journey with arthrogryposis, which is exciting. But yeah, so we're gonna definitely. I don't know if you guys know, or caught it the last episode. I was talking about Chris's Lego video going viral. That was from last year. It was a video that we took last March,
Uh-huh.
and it has a couple thousand views. Not a couple thousand, like 30 something, 40,000 views or something like that. Anyways, so the most reported question on this Facebook video of Christopher. Everybody wants to know, Chris, have you swallowed a piece of any of those Legos that you put together?
Knock on wood. No, not yet.
That's impressive. I can't say that I would swallow a few of those because some of those pieces are so small. I don't
They,
know. I think the
yeah,
wrong flip and down it goes.
they are. There are moments I pick up a few thinking this might not be a good idea, but so far it's been good. I would say I would not recommend it for very young children. So,
Yeah, I would still have that warning on it for kids. That would make sense.
of course, I haven't for years, and even when I was a kid, I worked with Lego.
Uh-oh, Chris, your sound went out.
Felicity is on Facebook. Ashley's with us.
Hello, Ashley. Hi, Felicity. Felicity, you can sign up for May, okay? We have openings. Uh-oh. Hold on one second. I just like disappeared on Zoom. What happened?
She's still
Um,
here.
I like did a slide. What is it called? A side swipe on my mouse, and it just like everybody disappeared. I'm like, what happened? Ah. Okay, Chris, and the other most popular question on your viral video. your viral Lego video is, do you remember what Lego you were putting together? Because inquiring minds want to know, because that's a very important piece. So we need to make sure we note that for next video we take of you.
I have to watch again. I think it was the ornament,
It was
ornament set.
okay, it was like a snowflake, I think, a snowflake and
Yeah.
a penguin, if I remember correctly. So is that like a holiday box, maybe?
Must
Yes.
be, yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Inquiring Lego minds want to know.
Yes, and we need to get some really good shots of Chris's house because he has Legos everywhere. I mean, like the 1,000-piece ones.
We should definitely do that.
So, okay, so mark your calendars for the end of April. Chris is going to join us and share his story and maybe even do a Lego demonstration. If he can't do it on Zoom, we are going to just show a YouTube video,
Mhm.
which will probably work better as far as sound and all that fun stuff and setup. So, but Chris, I think you're going to try to arrange something with some friends for some professional videos. So that would be really cool to share with our community.
Absolutely.
Legos, Chris. Who's laughing? Who's laughing at us? Is that you, Felicity? Where is Carly and Felicity? They're not at karaoke. They're online.
They're online tonight. They're on Facebook. They're here.
You're here watching us. All right, give me like 2 minutes. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I gotta share. I gotta share the video.
Ah,
So that way, um, I need one of those. What are they called? Background? Is it background moderators? Like, how do you do that on Zoom? Like a Zoom share?
I don't know if you can do like a background moderator on Zoom because this is kind of like a meeting place.
Crystal, we have been having audio issues. We're trying to get our musicians to be able to the sound for our music. How do you say that word?
Musicians.
Musicians? Oh
Mm-hmm.
man, I'm having a bad day today.
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
It's
That's what happens.
Tuesday. Um, so Crystal, I'm trying here. I'm glad that I could be of service for your laughing. Instagram was down yesterday. Did you guys have problems with Instagram? Because I was trying to post reminders of Christof's, um, Together Tuesday, and I could not. I was doing all the fun like emojis that I normally do, and yeah, none of that was working. So I felt bad, so that I had to do like just a normal, boring post for Christoph. So I'm sorry. I apologize profusely
Ignorance
for
is bliss.
All right, Christoph, it is your time. I gave everybody enough time to get into Zoom. So, Uncle Rod, you're in trouble. I don't know where you're at. You better be okay. Sierra, all you Sherry, Bryce, all you my regulars, they're not here. But it's okay. Chris is here. Felicity is on Facebook. Crystal's on Facebook. All of our friends watching live from home. All right, Christoph. So, tell us about yourself. We want to know everything about you. And obviously, of course, your awesome invention with the harmonica. I saw your recent article that came out, and we are going to include that in our next newsletter, which is cool. And we'll
Mhm.
share it on our socials as well. So you get a little bit more exposure. But
Awesome.
you share wherever you want to start, and we'll have the audience at home ask you questions along the way.
Sure, I guess. So yeah, like I guess in the brief bio I put, I was born in Asia. Actually I was adopted at a young age, about 3 months. So that's why I have a German name. It's not just the strong genetics. But so we moved shortly thereafter to the States. So about when I was 5, we came to the States, and I kind of just grew up in a typical midwestern suburb for a couple of years, and then we moved again because of my dad's work, and we moved up north. So before I moved to Texas, I was actually in Massachusetts for a good portion of my elementary and high school life. Um, it wasn't, I'm trying to think, was there anything that exciting going on? Not really. I mean, it's just, getting raised in a suburb from roughly from middle elementary through high school, I was homeschooled, and that was more of my mom's decision because I had a surgery around when I was 10, and it kind of gave her an excuse to, because I was in private schools before, but after that, she thought it would be good to homeschool. So we did that for the majority, the like second half of my secondary education. But then, so by the time I was ready for college, I was ready to get out of the house, and picked Texas. One of many reasons was the weather. I didn't really want to deal with the snow. I saw enough of that up there. So I came down here and kind of never looked back, so to speak. Uh,
Nice.
so the things I did do up there, so I did the martial arts and I
Mhm.
did the harmonica, and these were just kind of lifelong hobbies. I didn't know they were lifelong at the time, but it was something I picked up when I was up there. And then when I went to college, of course, I was doing my studying, but I kind of kept up. Not so much the martial arts. I was kind of too busy for that, but I'd carry a harmonica in my pocket every so often, and if I go to the bars or something, I'd bring it with me. And eventually, I got to the point where it was. I'm not a traditional harmonica player in the sense that I think a lot of players sit in front of the old records and listen to the classics. They listen to Little Walter, Johnny Cash, and they just learn note for note kind of the music. I just never did that. Ironically, I didn't listen to a lot of music growing up as a kid in terms of variations. So a lot of the stuff I was learning when I was a kid was very simple. Um, she'll be coming around the mountain, twinkle, twinkle, just kind of tooling around with it. And then I learned a little bit of blues, learned some basic blues theory, and did some very basic jams. But most of it was just kind of alone at home. And so I think it really wasn't until I got to college where I started just carrying one in my pocket because it was so easy. It was about the time I started to go to the bars anyway. I'm like, I'm in Austin. What will hurt if I ask the band if I can hop in? They'll either think I'm really drunk or maybe I can play. Either way, they got 3 minutes of free entertainment. Uh, so so we'll see what happens. And I was surprised because 50% of the time it worked every time.
Right.
And I just got comfortable. Ironically, I got comfortable from that more than going to the typical open mics because the open mics were on the off nights that I was studying. So that's sort of how that progressed. And I've always had that kind of in the background. And then over the last couple of years, I was introduced to a couple of musicians that saw some potential in this for me being more than just a hobby, but maybe being a little more professional about it. So I joke with my friends now that, you've made it as a musician when you don't trick the audience to think you sound good, you trick other musicians to think you sound good.
Nice.
And that's the ultimate trick because if you can do that, then you're in.
Right.
Mhm.
And out here I'm in the DFW, Dallas, Texas area. It's not quite as obvious maybe as in Austin, or maybe a Chicago for music, or even a Boston for music, but we do have pockets of it, and there are a good amount of pockets of it. You just need to kind of look for it. So.
Awesome. So can you tell us a little bit about the bullet chamber and how that came to be and
Sure.
all the good stuff that I could pretty much, quote from the article, but I would rather you explain it to us in,
Right.
Christof terms.
Right. So when I started, I mean, to this was the big thing was, well, okay, playing acoustically is not too much of an issue because I can hold a harmonica. I can play acoustically. I can't cup a harmonica, which we'll get to later, but I can hold it, I can play it, and that's sort of what I did. And so when I started playing at these bands and stuff, I would just stand in front of a mic and a mic stand. That worked good enough. It's enough to get you on stage, get you playing. Um, as I started to do more of these gigs, more consistently, I'm like, okay, I don't want to carry a mic stand everywhere I go with me. I mean, I can, but it's sort of, I'd have to worry about being able to then. I've never gotten good at mic stands either, like because there's the whole telescoping thing where you have to twist it, and grip strength's not a strength of mine. So there are obviously ways around it. Just gotten lazy and haven't figured that out quite yet. So I had this microphone that I bought, and let me see if I have it still. Well, it's kind of hidden.
That's okay. We have plenty of time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hidden. I say it's hidden because it's in. I've MacGyvered this thing since then. But let's see if you can see that. Well, you can't see that.
Oh, we can see it.
Yeah.
There's a little mic in there, and it's shaped like a ring. So you actually can hold it on your finger like a ring. It's a ring mic, and
Okay.
it's like a little lapel mic that someone built in their garage. I don't know, 20 years ago, and they were selling it again to people who couldn't cup. It's a little bit easier to hold. It's for smaller hands, kind of thing. And so I had that kind of in, collecting dust because it was a microphone I got when I was in high school and I never used it. So I kind of dusted it off and started using it at these gigs, and it worked good enough. Eventually I bought the cup that you saw, and started messing around with what I could do with fitting the harmonica in it. And actually, this is one of those weird things in the harmonica world where, it's just a cup. And I was like, there's no way this is going to work, but I'm going to buy it anyway. And surprisingly, it was ergonomic enough for me to use. So what I did was I fit the microphone inside, and I had these sponges on the front as a compression fit for the harmonica to sort of just sit in there, because he made it with a very loose slit in the aluminum, so that you're supposed to kind of still hold it. I didn't want to do that. It's a little bit hard to hold all of that at once. So I did the sponge trick, and that was a really good solution. The only problem was the cord coming out. So you can't fully get a full cup. And the other thing I worried about was the guy who made this mic no longer makes them anymore, because he was making them probably in his garage somewhere as
Gotcha.
a passing side business. So
Right.
I'm like, okay, I need to start looking for other mic ops when this thing eventually dies. I found another mic that fits in the same cup and it works. And I was like, okay, this is good. And I was pretty happy with that. I didn't really think to move on to the next step until I was joking with my family about getting a 3D printer. Not even me getting a 3D printer, but there was someone at my past job who his son had a 3D printer, and we were talking about doing some 3D printing for an adapter for a different type of harmonica. It's the one with it's called a chromatic, and it has a slide on it. That has its own problems because you have to be able to hit that slide pretty efficiently, and have full control over it to get the higher chromatic notes. So we thought about it, but we were always busy with work. It never, came up. So on a whim, I had family. When I came back from my vacation, I had this giant box I had to somehow drag into my apartment, and it turned out to be an actual resin printer. And so I started with that about 2 years ago, and messing around with it. Now, anyone in the printing community will tell you that resin printer is not the best printer to make functional parts for many reasons, mainly because the material is very brittle, so it'll break if you drop it. There are other reasons, but that's the main one. You can get more exotic materials, but it will cost you a little bit. I agree with a lot of what they say. There's other things like how you put supports in based on orientation and all. I could go into all that, but we're not going to do that. So the point of that was it was sort of my starter printer, and the reason why my family kind of they guessed at that one because they didn't really know which one I could handle. That was also a concern of me was, well, can I handle this printer? Because at least what I've seen of printers up to this point was it was a lot of dexterity motions that was going to take some work. And I was like, well, if it's going to break down every 5 minutes, I'm going to not be able to really use it. So the resin printer was unique in that it's only basically one directional movement. It's only up and down. And you're dealing with a vat of basically liquid plastic that then cures through almost like film through a ultraviolet light. And then you pull the part out afterwards, and then you harden it a little bit more in the sun or in more ultraviolet light. And so it's just the process of that print. And so because it was easy enough to work with, fewer moving parts, I'm like, okay, this is great. I'll just make do, even though there are limitations to, uh, maybe making functional parts. I'm an engineer, I can figure it out. So that's what I did. So I did that for, about a year or two, and I'm really happy with it. And then, over the, with technology being what it is, things grow at an exponential rate. So within the last 2 years, there has become there's a printer out now called Bamboo Labs, his company, and they make what is considered to be on the market today, sort of the Apple of 3D printers.
Nice.
Which means that there's very minimal fuss. That you still will have things you have to troubleshoot. It's still not completely plug and play, but as long as you understand the expectations of that, it does a lot of the other menial like troubleshooting for you.
Nice.
So you pay for it, obviously, but unlike Apple, I say this because I'm biased against Apple, it's actually a pretty good value for what they give you. So that's what I got. I got it late last year around Black Friday, and that's what I've been using now. It's a filament printer, so it's the typical printer everybody thinks of, where it's basically a robotic arm that's moving around in a weird way, and you get what you want out of it. So I love the printer, and it's sort of I kind of took my last iteration of prints. So the bullet chamber that you've seen is actually the third working iteration of things that I've used at gigs. And since I got the new printer, I've translated it from resin to filament, and it ends up being a cleaner print.
Nice.
That
That's
is
awesome.
incredible. Incredible. Do you have your harmonica with you? I was gonna
Yeah.
see if Zoom might um actually share audio. We could do like a 10-second test and we could see our audience at home if they can actually hear you play. Because we'll
Yeah,
test it. See, maybe Crystal's still on. She could let us know.
can you hear that?
Nah, not really. I think it's missing the high notes. I don't know. I know we've messed with some of the settings on our end, but I'm wondering if it's also settings on everybody else's end too, because that's what I'm curious to learn. Because I know if I mean the sound's coming from where you're playing, so I don't know if it's a Zoom setting that might need to take place in
It's
yours.
okay. I have a
Yeah.
backup plan,
We do.
y'all.
We got
Yeah.
backup. So
I have this like cool feature on Zoom that I don't know how to use. It's like some sort of share screen thing. Listen, I am not a Zoom professional, y'all. I just get on it for meetings, but everybody else is like all professional and stuff, and I just hang out on here.
we
So
also we had a question from Felicity. She wanted to know what got you interested in start playing the harmonica.
So growing up, we went through a couple different instrument ideas as a kid. I actually started on piano when I was relatively young, and we stopped because I think it was also because of that surgery. Yeah. But I mean, and I was enjoying it fine enough, but it was like I don't even remember how long we were doing it. It wasn't very long. And then we started it up again many years later, but with a different teacher. And the teachers were, it was kind of a weird situation because the teacher that we had there wasn't really a full teacher experience. It was sort of a half friend kind of thing. So it was just weird. And also I was older at that point where I could realize there's gonna this is gonna take a lot of work to figure out how to do this well
Gotcha.
from a dexterity perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think if I had the right teacher, I would have maybe stuck a little bit longer with piano. it
Mhm.
just wasn't the right time or the fit, you know. I think I was probably around a teenager about that point. So I was just being a teenager.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah, but so having said that, we thought of other things. So we thought of drums, which I still one day want to play.
Mhm.
I know there's someone in the group that plays drums on
Mhm.
the
Mhm. Sean.
that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So we see a good number of his videos come across our feed as well. He usually
Mhm.
tags us, which
Yeah.
is cool. So I don't know how drums would go well. I mean, it might, on Zoom, but we would probably
Yeah.
have to play one of his videos. He has hundreds of them, if not thousands, which is really cool. So I expect to see more harmonica videos from you,
Yeah.
Christof.
I'll send them until you tell me stop.
Nice.
Oh, please do. Yes, of course. Okay, so you guys, I'm going to share my screen. I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but y'all bear with me. But I just wanted to show you, and Ted will put this on our socials later, but this is the article that came out with Mr. Inventor himself, Christof, invents the bullet chamber, and it just kind of covers everything you see here and all the good stuff that
Nice.
I'll grab it actually. I got it in my case right now.
do you. Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
We've got some very, very talented and smart community members, and we love seeing stories like this. So if you're watching at home and you want to share your cool invention, please let us know. What do you want?
Absolutely.
So this is it in person. Let's see. How am I going to do this? That's the front
Oh wow. Okay.
without the mouthpiece. But there's
Oh,
the mic.
nice.
You can see the mic,
Mm-hmm.
and then the back where the holes are.
Nice.
Okay.
So this has a mouthpiece, which is what was described in the article, and it kind of just loosely snaps in
Nice.
to the front,
Okay.
and the harmonica fits in there nice and snug.
Nice.
That's
So
awesome. So, Christoph, I know we're going to get the question probably later when some more parents actually have time to watch it. I know it's late for a lot of parents and some
yeah.
of our people that have work the next day. But if we have a question, how could our families get in touch with you? I mean, is this something that could possibly hit the market?
Yeah, I'm doing some research on it now, and I kind of that's my intention to look at probably selling it potentially maybe sometime this year. Uh,
Nice.
Okay.
really been kind of pushing forward on the design, the last parts of the design, and now I think I'm very close to something that I would be fine with putting out there in the world. And so that's why I was kind of actually it's why I got the article. I was looking for videographers in my network, uh,
Hmm.
and happened to talk to her name is Waffles, and she was gave me a really inspired idea because generally if you're going to hire someone for something like this, you pay them contract rate for a project or whatever.
Hmm.
Considering this is kind of a niche thing and everything, she thought, well, what if we just instead spin this as a local music thing? Because she writes for the local radio station for that article. Um,
Right.
and, I'm actually a freelancer out here. So it kind of made perfect sense. It's like, okay, let's start with that.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And then I can still do a video later, but this will at least get me started thinking in that way so
Mm-hmm.
that when I get out, a product demo at some point, I've already gotten some exposure to how this should be set up. I think she did an awesome job on the article.
Nice.
So,
That
No,
kind of
that's
gives you a little bit of groundwork and what you and what to prepare you to make it public, like a public purchase type setup. Then that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was just thinking of and I think I say this with every musician guest. I can't say that word, obviously. We have a lot of AMCers in our community that want to play an instrument, but it's a little difficult for them if they are affected in their upper extremities. So I know that parents are always looking for instruments that can be adaptive. And this is like the first that I've heard of a harmonica uh, being adaptive to where you could play it and with ease and no issues at all. So that's really, really cool. Hopefully somebody that is watching can definitely benefit from this. I know that harmonica is usually not played in the fifth grade. It's usually the recorder. But you never know, the music teacher, band teacher, they might make some exceptions,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
very,
it's a great instrument. The way I started was I got one from Cracker Barrel, I think around my birthday, when I was 13. And my dad, funny enough, his dad, I never met his dad, but his dad was a musician. His
Mhm,
dad played everything, which is how my dad actually knows a surprising amount of music theory for being an engineer. And but he knew about the harmonica. He kind of passed that on. He's like, this could be interesting because harmonica, at least in the beginning stages and even through the advanced stages, you typically don't really need hands. Now, obviously, hands adds another tool to the arsenal, so to speak, but there are people that are play handsless with harmonicas, not with my adapter. Mine is sort of an in-between solution, but I've seen people with other apparatuses that can be completely hands-free.
mhm,
Guitarists also do this. They wear something called a rack and they play while they play guitar.
mhm.
I personally never found a rack I liked. I haven't looked at that hard, but there's I'm picky about how I play. So it's something that again I could figure out. It's just I always had more comfort playing with my hands.
Hmm.
Mhm,
This is just an extension of that, in the sense that it gives me that cupping ability that I just didn't have before. And it's a real big game changer in the sense of doing electric playing, because it's one thing to cup acoustically, but then if you have to add a mic on top of that, that gets very tricky.
Hmm.
mhm.
And so that's where this all developed was, it all started on working on that other type of harmonica. But then I'm like, well, I know this one. I'll start on this one because it's smaller and I know this really well and I know what I need out of it. And it's just sort of been the rabbit hole I've dug myself in.
So could the bullet chamber be mounted to a mic stand by any chance?
Yes, I'm pretty confident it could be.
Okay.
I would just have to think about making a custom mount for it or doing a
Mhm.
retrofit. It's anything you can imagine in CAD. So,
Hmm.
while it's not the original intention of it, I think
Right.
the easiest way to make it work would be to put it on a mic stand
Hmm.
Hmm.
for balancing reasons because it is so big. Um, and then put in stoppers in the back to get a different sound, whether you want open or closed vents
Hmm.
in the back. And I think that wouldn't be a big issue. It would just take a little bit of thinking outside the box.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I'm wondering too if it could possibly, because I see a lot of handmade inventions where there's mounting to the wheelchair arm. And I wonder if even that could be a possibility for those who don't have use of their uppers, if a mount could be put onto a wheelchair even. So that, I mean, I know the sky's the limit, but
Mhm.
you know, I know that there's a lot of different adaptive items out there for reaching and stuff like that. So this would be really neat for the instrument world and our future musicians.
Yeah, the market right now is pretty small. I think the most common mainstream items I've seen are things to adapt to a rack. And I think that works. It works well enough. It works well for the guitar players and everything out there. But there is a physics thing also associated with this. The thing, I got comments. I posted actually in a harmonica group, and it was funny because I got a lot of people with hand disabilities come back to me, and it was like 5 different people, and they all had 5 different disabilities, and
Mm-hmm.
each of them found a way around it. But they were, 5 different solutions. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just it's the challenge of, the problem set. But if you're really interested in doing it, you'll figure out a way. I
Mm-hmm.
like the reason mine is a little bit bigger too, aside from the ergonomics, but I'm thinking from an acoustic standpoint, you need the bigger chambers to get the better sound. Sort of like how a horn player uses a mute,
Mhm.
or even the cup. The same reason why the guy developed a cup. It historically harmonica players used to use coffee mugs, and they would play with coffee mug to get this really interesting mute sound. And so the guy thought about it. It's like, oh, I can make that out of aluminum,
Mhm.
machine it down, install it, and it's one of those things. You're buying a cup, but it's a unique sound. And anybody in I think any instrument in the instrument world is always looking for something new to try to make their sound more interesting. So it's just something that maybe, put my hat in the ring and say, hey, here's another way to make your sound interesting.
Mhm.
And I wonder too, is since you mentioned the rack on the guitar, I wonder if there is something that's lightweight, not as heavy as a guitar that would work for some of our AMCers. That's something to also think about. Maybe a platform of such that they could wear the rack that holds the harmonica. Um, gosh, we could sit here all day and come up with all kinds of inventions.
I mean, and when you're thinking about guitar too, that was another instrument that I had thought about later in life, which was, lap steel. You could play a lap steel guitar because then you don't
Mhm.
have to do additional fretting.
Mhm.
Um, didn't get very far, but I have one that I bought many years ago. It was, a cheap introductory instrument, and then I went back to harmonica. But I think the next thing, if I ever did learn another instrument, I think the next thing I actually want to learn is learn how to sing, because that's kind of something I'm lacking as a harmonica player. A lot of harmonica players sing, and I don't sing. So
Mm.
Well, you never know.
I
You never
don't
know.
sing today.
Not today.
Not
Oh,
today. Yeah.
so that means we will invite you back after a few singing lessons. I
Right.
know you've got to have a voice. I know it. I believe in you. All right, let's show this video here and see.
Okay.
Hopefully, you guys at home, let me know. Hang on one second. I've got to switch over on this
Oh,
browser.
we tested it a few times earlier and it worked. So we're
Okay, let
hopeful.
us know Zoom at home. If not, we're gonna send you the links to all of Christof's YouTube videos. Hold on one second. I might have to take out um my headphones if it does not work, but you guys let me know, okay?
Mhm.
Testing, testing. All right. Sound? So impressive. I love it. Okay, Christoph, you need your tip jar out there too.
Yeah, I got one. The
That's
uh
awesome.
the funny thing is, and I think this is the other kind of cool part, if you stalk my YouTube channel of the videos that I still have up, you can actually, and you look carefully, you can actually see the evolution and the progression of the adapter as it's being developed.
Very
Because
cool.
every time I got like some downtime, instead of practicing like a good musician, I started going back to the CAD and looking at what I could tweak once I had the printer. So you'll see in some of the videos different stages, different things that I'm using. And so that was a video right before I got the printer. And so that was actually the cup. I was using the cup for that video. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's growing up, I was also a bit of a. It's kind of funny. I was a comic book nerd without reading the comics because I just read the Wikipedia pages. So I know all this stuff about the comic book heroes, but never really read the comics. And I'm surprised I know some of this stuff. So I'm like, there are a couple of superheroes that they build their own tech, and I'm like, that's what I'm doing now. And I'm just amused at myself for doing it. And so as things continue to progress, I just see, as I say, in the later videos, you'll see the more developed prototypes working and hopefully sounding better.
I love it. Hi, Rini. Hi, Uncle Rod. Glad you could join us. How are you guys doing?
I'm completely intrigued by your harmonica playing because, you know, I see so many of my friends that do things like dulcimers and pianos and they will play wind instruments that are long, but this one requires you to bend your arms and hold it there. And I love your adaptions that you're coming up with. I think it's really spectacular.
Thank you. It's a good workout. I'm usually hungry afterwards.
You know, many years ago, we had this little section of the Arthrophosis conference that was AMC's Got Talent. And I miss that because I feel like we have so many talented individuals. And thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. I'm glad and excited to be able to show other people what's possible.
That's awesome. Christoph, I appreciate you taking the time. We're going to have to invite you back
Sure.
as you progress in your harmonica playing and your inventions and your singing. I would love to see you really blow it out of the water with the song and harmonica playing at the same time, if possible. You
Right.
know. So we'll be all lining up to see you play. Rini, I would love to bring the talent show back, but the talent show, I think, is out because of prom. So, we'll see. I might be able to talk Michelle into maybe one or two performances. If Christoph is able to us, for a harmonica playing during dinner. That would
I
be
think that
fun.
we need a band,
Yes. And
the
that would be
Arthrophosis band.
something. Yes.
You know, we have so many talented musicians.
We do.
Christof's one, but and our friend Barbara last week, a couple weeks ago, was one. She has some amazing skills, and I have
does.
some other friends that have some amazing skills too. And I just feel like we need to get people together to make music together.
That would be fun.
It would be fun.
I like that.
I don't think it's an AMC's Got Talent, but I think that it would be a good session at conference to get people to come in and share their talent as a group that has practiced.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be
Absolutely.
And
cool.
we have some amazing singers too.
We do. We do. And so hopefully we could figure something out. If not this year, maybe for next. Christoph, have you
So
been to conference ever?
people out there on Together Tuesday, you need to kind of raise your hands and say, I could do that. Let's plan this for another year. Let's work together and
Mm-hmm.
make yourselves the band. Like
Mm-hmm.
get together on Together Tuesday.
That's it.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
A great slogan.
Crystal actually mentioned even for the kids to participate in too, have a sign up list to share what they do in a safe space to create and express. So, Christoph, maybe you should come to conference and maybe you'll get a couple of AMC harmonica, wishfuls. You never
Yeah.
know. You never know.
Yeah, I haven't been to the conference, but I've been to some of the local events,
The local meetups, yeah.
the local meetups in my area, neck of the woods. Because it's I trying to remember the last one. I don't remember right now. There was one in Mineral Wells, but that was actually many years ago. That's the last
Hmm.
one I remember.
Okay.
But
Where are you,
yeah.
Christoph?
I'm in the DFW, Texas area. Um, so
There's a large group of people that do things in Texas.
yeah, we're a big state. So I know last year, I think it was last year or the year before last, they had the meetup in San Antonio, and I was actually nearby, but I had already had plans in Austin, so I was driving to Austin for some PTO vacation time. But I remember seeing it. But yeah, I guess that's the other thing. I know there are a couple of people out here in Dallas Fort Worth, and so if there's anyone that's watching or that will see this video later, they're more than welcome to reach out to me and even see me live when I have gigs. So playing this weekend with my guitar player, actually. So the one that's in the article, we're playing out in Deep Ellum on Saturday. So
And
Okay.
how could they reach out to you?
they can reach out to me through my music handle that I know I gave you guys.
Yep. Mhm.
It's probably the best way to reach me.
Okay.
And Christoph, are you also a gamer? Did I read that right?
Uh Did I put that in there? I don't remember. I am, but sometimes it kind of depends on what I'm working on. Uh, when
Gotcha.
I was in when I was in high school, I feel like that's all I did, to the chagrin of my mother. But now it's sort of I do it and I'm in the mood. It's kind of like I have so many other things I'm doing, and sometimes I joke now with my family. I'm like, I think the printer has become my video game because I can just print it out one more time and get it right. But every time I print it out one more time, I have to print it out one more time. So it's maybe just also the pros and cons of being an engineer is that you always look at something and you say it can be better, but it takes time to do that. So
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, I've got 10 minutes left and I only have like a few announcements, just so everybody knows that there is still availability for anybody that has not attended the annual conference to apply for a full ride grant to attend. So if you have not, I'm talking to you too, Christoph. If you have not attended and want your lodging, your registration, and your travel covered, please apply for the grant. It's on our website in the conference section. It's called the Braden Dame Conference Scholarship Grant. We also have the Conference Scholarship Grant available for anybody that is an adult with arthrogryposis that lives in Canada. So that is also your travel, your food, your lodging, your registration. So it's a wonderful opportunity to attend for the very first time, and everything's covered. I'm extending the deadline for 2 more weeks because we don't have that many applicants, which is very surprising. So, and I'm sure it has a lot to do with the Facebook algorithm. So if you guys are at home and know of an AMCer that has not attended conference, please, please, please let them know about this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
We would love to see you guys. I know for the 3 that was awarded the the conference scholarships last year. Was an incredible experience and unforgettable for them. And they're actually coming again to Atlanta this year. So that's really exciting. So I know that the conference made a huge impact on them. And I believe the last time I checked, there was close to like 70 adults coming this year. So please come. Christof, if you apply, let me know. Or if you could come, please do let us know, and we'll try to get you on there. Maybe before prom, you can play the harmonica for us. And I'm trying to get Barbara to come too, so she would play her violin. But I know it's a haul for her to get to Atlanta. Also, quick screen share, because I'm getting used to this thing, this screen thing. Hold on, let's see if I can figure out how to work this thing. Oh, nope. We're not doing that again. Hold on. Let me see if I can. Oh, this is something new. So we are having an AMC run, walk and roll for arthrogryposis awareness. It is happening in the St. Louis area. It is May 25th and May 26th. So they're going to have a one-day conference with some awesome medical professionals. David Solano is going to be speaking. I don't know why I'm there. I'm probably providing the fun stuff for the kids. Dr. Van Bosa is going to be talking from Cardinal Glennon and some other special guest speakers. And then the following day is going to be the fundraiser for AMCSI, which will be happening at, is it Tillis Park? And then for more information on that, you can reach out to Anna at amcsupport.org, or you can also talk to Caroline, who is on Facebook as well, and she's been promoting the event. Oh man, I cut out of that too early. Hold on, guys. And I just wanted you guys to know, on the website, if you look here, we have a really cool, so Tyler Holt, who joined us a couple of weeks ago, created a resource for parents with AMC, and it is on the new diagnosis page on our website. So you can kind of go to it. It takes you to her presentation. This is also part of her capstone. And she is wanting you guys to know that you are not alone. So please, please, please go to our website and check out the awesome work that she did for us. Super excited to share that with you guys. And let's see, Ted, what else do we have? Did I miss anything?
I mean, we're almost creeping up on 90 days till conference. I mean, that's gonna be Friday, believe it or not. Ooh,
Wow.
no, we're getting close.
90-day conference. Again, don't tell Michelle that, because
Yeah, it's a secret. Michelle, earmuffs. So it's gonna be 90 days on Friday. So I mean it's coming up fast. So if you guys haven't registered yet, please do so, and definitely get book your rooms when you get the link after registering, because they will go. And I believe
You're in.
there's a few ADA rooms left, right? From what I
There
understand.
is. There
Yeah,
is. And
so
just
it's
as a reminder, it just came to me this Saturday, if you are in the Greenville, South Carolina area, there is a mini meetup going on. So if you are North Carolina, I think we are like 2 hours from Charlotte, 2.5 hours from Atlanta area. Please join us. Chris is going to bring some face paint, some Legos, some chess. I think there's going to be like a game off with Hunter. I don't know what's going on, but they're planning something fun. So that'll be a really good time of fellowship with our AMC community in the South Carolina area. If you're in Greenville for clinic for the week, let us know. We have multiple people coming, and if transportation is an issue, I can fit 8 people in my van. So
I mean, there you go.
yes. So, all right, you guys, we will see you. Is it next Tuesday? We will have a fundraising meeting. Everything about fundraising for our organization will be covered during that meeting. The following Tuesday, we're going to have a special guest, Kim Kolstad, and her adaptive sports team. They are coming back to get you guys to sign up for the day the morning that conference starts. And
third.
they're going, yes, the 3rd of July. So I think there's still some open spots if you're interested in adaptive sports activities right before our conference. Go ahead, Ted. I know you're getting ready to say something. I could see it.
I know they did mention that there's a good amount of wake surfing, and I'm surprised really because I mean it's July, it's gonna be hot in Atlanta. I would think that the wake surfing would have been like the quickest one to go first. You know, that actually surprised me. So just to let people know they're definitely still accepting signups, and you can go to the website on our conference pages and sign up directly from them. And yeah, they did mention that the wake surfing is still the most with the most open slots. So please sign up for that. Remember, it's gonna be hot, like July hot in Atlanta. So I would want to be in the
I've
water.
seen it.
I mean, if it was definitely something I'd want to do, I would have signed up for wake surfing right off the bat because I'd want to be in the water.
I think
But
Ted should totally sign up for wake surfing. That would be a
no,
fun
no,
video.
definitely not.
I
Definitely,
think that
definitely,
anybody that signs up for wake surfing is going to have a good story.
yeah, I
And
would
they're
think
going to
so.
have a story of an adventure that they've participated in. Chris?
Yeah.
The mountain biking.
Oh,
And
he signed up for mountain
Sign up for
biking
mountain
that
biking, yep.
morning.
I
Okay.
wanted to do
Wait.
wake surfing too, but they're at the same time. So it's kind of like, you're killing me. But that's okay.
So
Okay.
it took me 5 minutes
I
to
think it's
realize
all
I
going to
don't
have a
know.
good story.
It took me
What was
5 minutes to realize I don't know what weight surfing is.
You can learn
I
all
So
about it.
you could get that grant and come to
Mhm.
conference for free, and you could have that participation
There it is.
activity, and then you could share what wake surfing is.
There it is, Christof. It's right there, right in front of you, buddy. Go for it.
I mean I've done water skiing. I don't know if it's like that.
It is. It
It
is.
is kind of like that, yeah. I mean, it's
You're
definitely you can learn
skiing
all about
down.
it. We have all the info on the site. We'll send you the link.
Ted's gonna get Christoph to conference. He's gonna send you all the links.
I'll
And then
send you
we're gonna
everything you need, Christof. We'll send you the grant link. We'll
I,
send you the adaptive sports link. You'll be all set, buddy. We got you covered.
and
I know
the
you're
waiver, I'm sure.
yes, and the
Yep.
waiver. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's
And
waivers. I mean, there's waivers with everything.
That's true. I signed half of them already.
Exactly. There's waiver. There
You
should be
signed the
waivers
last.
just to leave the house.
Yeah.
That's true. So I have your phone number and your email address, Ted. So I'm signing you up for wake surfing.
What?
You'll
I'm
just have
sorry.
to
What was
sign
that? No, 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 no. There is no signing Ted up for nothing. No, thank you. I appreciate the help. If I would like to join, I will gladly do it myself. But I appreciate that. Thank you, Audie. I got this. So we want to thank everybody for joining us.
magic word for
On that
tonight.
note, we're just gonna call it, before you actually hit send on that. We want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Christoph, it was awesome hearing about the product that you built for the harmonica. The what is it again? Bullet? I'm sorry, the
Bullet
Bullet
chamber.
chamber.
bullet chamber. Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't.
So it's a play on words of the bullet mic.
Nice, nice. And what we look forward to sharing that information once you get things moving with where people can buy it. We shared your info tonight. So again, if anybody wants
Awesome.
to learn more about it, please reach out to him, or you can reach out to us and we can forward his information along to you happily. Tonight's special word, if you're watch it this far, is harmonica. So if you've watched it this far and you're still with us, if you send us an email with that word, you could win an item from our shop. And as Ani said, we'll be back here next Tuesday on the 9th. And we want to thank everybody for joining us. Be safe and be strong. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye,
Take
guys.
care.
Thanks for stuff.
Much love, everyone. Later.
See ya.
Good night, Uncle Rod. Good night, Rini. Bye, everyone at home. Melissa, Felicity, Crystal. I saw you, Zach. Everyone, good night, my friends.